Lead me, Lord, lead me by the hand and make me face the rising sun. Comfort me through all the pain that life may bring. There's no other hope that I can lean upon. Lead me, Lord, lead me all my life. Walk by me across the lonely road of every day. Take my arms and let your hand show me the way. Show the way to live inside your heart. Lead me, Lord, lead me all my life. You are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my life. I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life. Lead me, Lord, even though at times I'd rather go along my way. Help me take the right direction, take your road. Lead me, Lord, and never leave my side. All my days, all my life. You are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my life. I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life. You are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my life. I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding love all through my life, all through my days. Lead me, Lord, all my life. Life is not at all that bad, my friend. If you believe in Just learn to reach out and open your heart. Lift up your hands to God, and He'll show you the way. And He said, cast your burdens upon me, those who are heavily laden. Come to me, all of you who are tired of carrying heavy loads. For the yoke I will give you is easy, and my burden is light. Come to me, and I will give you rest. When you feel the world is tumbling down on you, when you have no one that you can hold on to, just face the rising sun and you'll see hope, and there's no need to run. Lift up your hands to God, and He'll make you feel alright. And He said, cast your burdens upon me, those who are heavily laden. Come to me, all of you who are tired of carrying heavy loads. For the yoke I will give you is easy, and my burden is light. Come to me, and I will give you rest. Come to me, and I will give you rest.
Inay Nolita, ikaw ang aming tanging yaman. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let us now have the presentation of the eulogy.
Hello everyone. I'll be saying the autobiography for my grandmother, Nolita Ambrosia. Nolita Ambrosia was born on November 5th, 1937 in Manila. When she was a child, she enjoyed playing with jacks and other games. She is the oldest daughter of 14 siblings, which she took pride in helping raise and care for. When she went to university, she attended Manuel Ruiz Quezon University, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Education, and she aspired to be a school teacher. Unfortunately, to help her family, she was unable to practice as a school teacher, and she began working at the Bureau of Public Highways. It's here where she met her husband, Monaco Paguio, and they married in 1966. They welcomed a total of 4 children: Hazel, Jodimar, Cheryl, and Nestle into the world. In 1980, Nolita moved to San Francisco to follow her husband and better help support her family. She worked several jobs here and before moving to Los Angeles in 1982. With her hard effort and financial support, she petitioned to bring her children over on September 14, 1985. Nolita continued to work diligently to support and eventually bring her siblings to the United States as well. From then on, she had many accomplishments, such as establishing a board and care and becoming a grandmother to 8 grandchildren: Diane, Austin, Kyle, Amber, Phoebe, Eris, Caitlin, and Audrey. Nolita Ambrosio was an amazing, caring, and hardworking person who always ensured her family was taken care of until her passing on January 2nd, 2023. It is with a heavy heart that the Ambrosio and Paguio family pay their respects as they honor her life and her achievements. She will be very dearly missed by all.
Hello, everyone. I'm the second oldest grandkid, Kyle. Grandma, words can't describe how much we miss you. You were the glue that held us together, our source of strength that made us stronger, our voice of reason that made us wiser, and the void that filled our hearts. As much as you think we've done a lot for you, you have done way more for us. You shaped us all into who we are today. You looked after us until it was time for us to look after you. But even then, you would still worry and care about us. Especially me, your favorite grandchild. I'm kidding. Because you loved us all equally, whether it was your husband, siblings, relatives, your kids or grandkids, and even friends. Given each and every one of us the same care and love that you give. Your warm hugs, your affectionate smile, the money you would give us, no matter how much you refused it, and yes, even your tough love, brutal honesty, we miss it all. Lastly, I want to share a fond memory I have with Grandma. It was a long time ago when I was only 6 years old. He slept over at our house. He called me over because he needed a nightlight because it was too dark in the room we were sleeping in. My room, of course. I couldn't find one, so I got the next best thing, a toy lightsaber. I was 6, don't judge. Nerdy alternative, I know, but she said that it was good, so I left it on in her room. For the longest time, I didn't understand why that was the memory I was so vividly remember. But now I understand. Even though I ignited the lightsaber to light up your room, you were the one who always carried the light that guided us through the darkest moments in our lives, to the brightest memories that we'll always treasure within us. And that's how I'll always remember that memory. So thank you for everything you've done for us, Grandma. You'll always be in our hearts, where we will always love you, no matter what. Thank you.
My name is Amber Catherine. I'm one of Nolita's grandmothers. So whether you knew Nolita, the cousin, tita, wife, mother, grandmother, or friend, it's clear to us all that she was someone who was truly selfless and amazing, because that was just the kind of person she was. My grandma was someone who took pride in caring for her family and friends, from working to bring her children and eventually her siblings here to the United States, helping take care of her grandchildren whenever they needed her. She really spent her whole life showing how caring and kind-hearted she was. One of the most memorable memories I have of my grandma was when we were still living in West Covina. I'd be too scared to sleep in my room by myself, so I would always ask grandma to sleep with me. So when she would sleep with me, she'd put on the TV and she would watch Jerry Springer. I think I was only like 4, but she watched it so often that one time when I was with my parents and the show came on, I said, "Oh my God, that's Jerry Springer. That's who grandma watches." That's not something a little girl normally knows. But that's one of the memories, and as funny as it is for me to remember, it reminds me of how my grandma would take care of me and how memorable of a person she was. She comforted me every night, like sleeping with me, just like in that story. And she would bring me packs and packs of bed and give me jewelry whenever she could. She showed her love in a multitude of ways, and I'm very happy to call her my grandma. I'm so happy that she was here when I finally became a nurse. Because even though she never was the one who told me you should be one, I knew how proud she was to tell her friend my grandmother was a nurse. I love you, Grandma, so very much. I just want to say thank you for taking care of me all of these years. Thank you all so much.
Everyone doesn't know me. I'm Jojo's son, and most importantly, I'm Nolita's most handsome grandson. That's not a joke. I want to say this is the first eulogy I've ever wrote. So if it's bad, please don't yell at me. When I think of grandma, I have this reoccurring memory of every single time we're at a family party. Me and the cousins like to play around. We'll see grandma and go, "Oh, grandma, look, Austin's drinking." And I always look back at that memory thinking, like, wow, we're just kids. But I look back now and see the significance of this. Grandma was always there for everyone who needed it. For us, she always wanted to make sure that we were well taken care of and that we had everything. And I know that she would have given us the world. And if she had it, we would have had it too. I always think about the different holidays, the different birthdays, and the different times that we visited her, the money that she's given in those infamous red envelopes that you've probably heard about now. And visiting her always offering food. I know that she always wanted to take care of everyone around her. And now when I think back at all the memories I had with her, my grandma, I don't think that she's ever gone. Her legacy lives on with her kids and with her grandchildren. and most importantly, all the lives that she touched. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Eris. I'm Nestle's second son. Obviously, I'm one of the Nolita's grandkids. Honestly, writing this eulogy was hard for me. Didn't really know what to talk about. I think there's a lot of things I could have talked about Grandma, the Chinese New Year's red envelopes, her brutal honesty. But specifically, there are two things that I will always remember about Grandma. The second of those things, I'll get back to the first one, is that to me, as a kid, Grandma seemed like the most serious person in the world. Felt like she never laughed. She always looked stone faced. She was never there to play no games. Um, but like many of us here, Grandma took care of me and my siblings fairly often when she would stay in our home. But one of those nights that she took care of us, she asked me for sapen. Now back then, I barely even knew English. Forget about Tagalog. So, being that dumb little kid, instead of running to bring her a blanket, I brought her a pen. And now it's very simple, but that was the first time I remember seeing Grandma. Sorry, my eyes are sweating. It must be hot in here. That was the first time I remember seeing Grandma laugh and smile so genuinely while taking care of us. She was telling everyone in our house what I thought Sapen meant. Even though it was an embarrassing moment for me at the time, it's one of my most favorite memories of Grandma. It reminds me that Grandma liked to laugh. It reminds me that she liked parties and being around all of us and seeing us all happy. It reminds me that Grandma took care of all of us without complaint. When I think about that moment, knowing what I know now, knowing that for most of her life she took care of so many of us, that even on her deathbed, she didn't want any of us to see her suffer the way she was. Knowing all of that, I know that Grandma wasn't just serious. She just didn't think of herself and her enjoyment first. She thought of us, so she could take care of us as best as she could. Not just me or my siblings, but my parents, my cousins, my titos, my titas. She took care of all of us. Grandma wasn't just serious, she was strong. Grandma was strong. That's the first thing I will always remember. Nolita Ambrosio is one of the strongest women I have ever and will ever meet. I love you so much, Grandma, and I hope to bring you a surprise again one day.
On behalf of my family, I would like to begin by thanking everyone that is here today and for those who have sent their condolences. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paguio, one out of 8 of Nolita's lovely grandkids and the March daughter. The past 18 years spent with my lovely grandmother have been the utmost memorable and will experience occasions of my life thanks to her and my comedic family. Every moment Every second and every judgmental stare I kept close to my heart and never failed to remind me how blessed I am to share blood with her. My grandma's confident personality and dogged appearance constantly inspired me to do the same. Her hair always in rollers and perfectly curled the next day with her gold jewelry always gleaming made it so easy to want to be like her. Her presence was so comforting in the sense that she always had your back and was always grateful to see you because we all lived far. I am so very grateful to be her granddaughter and experience her kind heart that she'll always obtain, whether it was through her warm smile or the language of gift giving. My grandma was always thinking of others. I will always remember the packed sweet candies prepared for my siblings and cousins and I tucked away in her bag, to the countless pretty bracelets and Ebet hair clips and jewelry the girls and I will cherish forever. Or even the iconic red envelopes around the holidays that at the Amber and I will carry on giving in honor of her. Though time has been the biggest thief known to man, I thank time for emphasizing my perception of everything my grandma has taught me. From generosity to belief and confidence, she was my perfect role model, constantly holding her breath. I'm going to miss her sweet voice very much so, and her genuine personality. I'll never forget the judgmental looks when we would joke with her about one of the boys drinking, or that same look she gave me when I wore my first crop top in front of her. She always cared. There was never a point in my childhood where my grandma failed to make us feel at home or taken care of. Every event or holiday hosted, she was so content and happy with because we were all together. Every individual here has been loved and impacted by her in some way, shape, or form. And today, all of you are impacting her beloved soul, in which I know is extremely happy to see you today. Though you may have known her as someone different than I am so eternally thankful and blessed that I have the privilege of calling her my grandma. I love you, Grandma. Thank you. For those who don't know me, I am Audrey Davis' grandchild from Nolita. My grandma has always been an important person in all of our lives. I've known her to be a kind, caring, and loving person who has always helped and cared for everyone in her life. When I think back to the memories of Grandma, what I think of when I was very little and when Grandma would always take care of me when my parents were busy. Every day, she would feed me 3 things: mango, lemon, and butter. No matter how many times my parents had asked what I ate for the day, would never fail to see at least some of these 3 things. If Grandma would make me happy with these foods, they will almost always remind me of when Grandma used to care. I learned from Grandma that you should always care for your family, especially after all they have done for you. Even though she isn't here, I know that Grandma will always be looking after me, whether it is as my babysitter or as my guardian angel. And I am sure she knows this already. If I could tell her one last thing, I would say that I miss her and will always love her with all my heart.
At daming higit sa lahat, wala kaming dito kundi dahil sa iyo. Sa pag-aaruga mo, sa pagpapaalala mo, sa lahat-lahat. Maraming salamat. Mahal ka namin lahat. And may you rest in peace. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Salamat sa ni Nolita. The last time when I talked to her, I think last year ago, but I told her that, thanks, pagaling na, iulit na natin Pinas. But, sabi niya, kahit na wala akong pera, uwi tayo. But anyway, parang hindi ako pwede na kasi wala ako dito sa Pagpanda kasi New York ako eh. Saka pangalawa, the last thing that I see her in the hospital already with my atelier. And I talked to her at test, and I talked to Atinori. They said to me, Mari, hindi ka niya marinig. Kasi kinigal niya rin mga tube sa bigay. So, I spoke to my atelier. Baka po pwede. So, the last moment, makausap mo ng siya. So, binigay yung cellphone. Hawak niya. Sabi ko, ako si Jiling. Nakapatid mo. Kung natatanda ko pa, sinabi sa iyo noon, magpagaling ka na. Katawan ka na, uwi tayo. But, anyway, ito sabi ko, ang masasabi ko na sa iyo ako talaga, kayo lang. Teko lang nga. At saka tumulong ako, hindi mo nalilimutan yung lagi ko sinasabi sa iyo. Paano mahal kita? I love you, Kasi kao kahit na 1,000,000 beses ko sabi sa iyo na mahal kita. Wala akong bayad yun eh. Pero lagi ko tatabi sa isip mo na mahal kita. Kasi kahit kailan di mo pinabayaan. Kahit sa Pilipinas, kahit ang pag-ihip, pinibigyan mo ng pera. Pero, kung nasisabi ko sa kanya, ba't lagi yung natandaan, put in your own in your mind, mahal kita. So, I see, on the last moment, lumilit yung kalibag ng mata. Piling kita, but, sabi nga sa akin ko, lumilit yung mata, pero baka narinig ka. Kaya sagot ko sa kanya, sorry sandali, mahal kita. I love you. Kung nahirapan ka na, please, tingnan na. Para ako because it's too hard to see there, nagkala situation niya. Mahal kita. Sabi ko na sa akin ito, kinilipatay, hindi ko na kaya. Kaya, sinabi ko sa kanya, kayo bahala. On that time, lahat yata sila nandun sa isang room, at wala na na. Pero, anyway, sabi ko sa kanya, hanggang ngayon, kahit nawala na siya, Tinori, andito pa rin ako nagmamahal sa'yo. Salamat po.
Kaya nakatawagin niya ng pangalan niya, immigration. Kasi lahat yan gusto niya kunin, kami lahat. Gusto niya kunin. Nakatulong din naman yung bayaw ko. Kasi whatever sabihin ng ate ko, sundin yan. Oo. Kaya, kung tawagin niya kasi namin, ang immigration, ayan na. Ayan na. Pero naroon talaga ang pagpupursige niya kasi sa dami namin, yung makarating dito, which is talagang gano'n naman natin. Ang nangyayari sa Pilipino, family, di ba? Yung magkasama-sama. Marami rin niyang hanap buhay na napagdaanan. Mga anak na pinilit din naman na may taguyod. Kaya, ang masasabi ko sa ate ko talagang she is really a very nice wife, a sister, a mother, and grandmother. Kung nasa saan ka man, ate, alam ko, tahimik ka na. No more pain, no more sorrow, no more sickness. Yan ang mahalaga. We're happy to to see you. Well, we're sorry na wala ka na sa paningin namin, pero lahat naman tayo pupunta dyan. Mauna-una lang, makita na kayo ng nanay, tatay, sa mga kapatid natin. I love you, Te. Ate, I love you.
Do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not stay afraid. It is really I whom you see. I offer you now my peace. I have waited for this moment to be with you again. In my heart you'll remain, in your heart I'll stay. I am with you till the end of your days. I am in you. Have faith that I hold you even when you let go, and I love you, you must know. I am here, I am ever with you. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Do not stay afraid. I'm beyond all anguish, all death. I'm risen to life anew. When you feel that you've been emptied and can give no more, know that I am your breath and I fill your soul. I am with you till the end of your days. I am in you. Have faith that I hold you even when you let go, and I love you, you must know. I am here,
and also her favorite, by the way. Unanimous decision. Although I wish we all came together under different circumstances, I am so happy to see so many faces here today in honor of my grandmother, Nolita and Nolita. She was more than just my grandmother to me. She was my role model. Not just to myself, but to so many others that I know. She inspired me to constantly work hard towards a goal, be a nice, kind person towards others, express sympathy for my fellow man, and to always be there for family when they needed me. Ever since I was young, she would always remind me to finish my studies, become a nurse, make enough money, and to find a girlfriend. None of those happened, by the way. I'm not a nurse, nor will I ever become one, and I definitely don't have a girlfriend. I'm working on that one. She'd remind me every time I saw her, whether at a family party or at the hospital. Are you a nurse now? Do you have a girlfriend yet? And I really wish I could have told her yes to one of those questions before she passed. That's probably one of the regrets I have regarding my grandma. But knowing her, she probably passed on without any regrets. Because she would have been just fine knowing all of her kids and grandkids were all well taken care of before she decided to go. That's just the kind of person she was. Before herself, she would make sure that all of her kids had everything they needed, were set on the right path, and were ready for anything the world had in store for them. Even during her final moments, I would like to tell her a childhood story about me and my grandma that I remember very much. Grandma Nolita would always take care of me and my brother and sisters when we were younger, and when I was a young whippersnapper, going to Oswald Elementary in West Covina. A couple of my friends would wait for their parents to pick them up at our house, and Grandma would be there at home to watch over us. Now as kids, we got bored easily and decided to entertain ourselves with a game of darts in the garage. Now Grandma, as usual, told us not to because someone would get hurt, but as kids, we just didn't listen. Plus, I was kind of stupid then, and I would always do something really dumb. But as we were playing darts, having a good time, eventually I go up under the dartboard to pick up some darts on the floor, and a dart fell off the board and landed right on the top of my head. It hurt very much. I was bleeding, but Grandma was there to take care of me. She pulled the dart from my head, cleaned up the blood, put a towel and ice on the wound so that I'd stop bleeding. And just when I thought it was over, she hit me with the "I told you so." Now I don't know if Mom and Dad remember this story, but that's something that I always remember about Grandma. Because she always made sure to take care of us. She seemed serious, but she always had a funny side to her. I'm always going to remember my grandma. I'm going to miss her so much. I love you, Grandma. Thank you very much for everything.
On behalf of my family, we would like to thank you all for coming to celebrate the life of my grandmothers, Nolita and Rosa. And we would like to thank everyone for traveling and coming down so far to come and help us celebrate. Words cannot express how much we appreciate and are so grateful for all your support. So as we lay her to rest today, may she be filled with the love and blessings that we all give her, and she find
Hindi kita malilimutan, hindi kita pababayaan. Nakaukit magpakailanman sa aking palad ang iyong pangalan. Malilimutan ba ng ina ang anak na galing sa kanya, sanggol sa kanyang sinapupunan? Paano niya matatalikdan? Ngunit kahit na malilimutan ng ina ang anak niyang tangan, hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi kita malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan.
Malilimutan ba ng Diyos Ama na ikaw ay katumbas ng buhay niya? Mula ika'y sanggol, inalagaan niya. Paano niya matatalikdan? Minsa'y ating nakakalimutan na tayo ay nanggaling sa Kanya. Hindi Kanya malilimutan, kailan may di pababayaan. Hindi Kanya malilimutan, minsan siya'y iyong iniwanan. Hindi Kanya kinalimutan, kahit madalas mo siyang talikdan. O kay buti mo, Panginoon, kailan may hindi kami pinabayaan. Hindi kita